Wow. The sky is so blue right now, and it's so ethereal out here. Is that a good word? Ethereal? But it's such a good night, and I'm walking around, so there might be a lot of pauses, a lot of jumps in this video because I don't like talking in front of people. Kind of funny recording a video where you're just walking around because, like, what if somebody sees you and you just start walking on your phone, talking to yourself? It's kind of just a funny thought seeing people imagining what people think when they are watching you do stuff, you know. Everybody probably thinks I'm such a screenager just walking around with my phone out, recording myself. All right, so I finally found a place to go. I'm kind of crouching right now because I don't want to sit on the ground. I've sat on the ground on here at night and like worms crawl on me, and I'm not a big fan of that experience. It's kind of gross. Um, but there's two things I kind of wanted to talk about right now. Kind of why I wanted to make this video. First off, I wanted to make like something for myself and something for my loyal subscribers out there. For you guys and for myself, something I want to do. I want to make videos every day, and what I want to do is just post like a video like this. It could be just super silly, like just one of my little like spontaneous skits, or it could be me talking in front of the camera like this. Or maybe I might even throw together a bit more of a higher quality video every once in a while. But honestly, I'd love to make videos like this, or just short little like 1 to 3 minute videos, and just get them out there just for fun, just every day. Um, just because I think it would be very nice to have like a little bit of a shorter, more instant outlet. Because like there's a lot of more long-term outlets, a lot of more long-term expressions, and I feel like this is a good one where you can kind of be a bit more short-term. Like even what I was saying, just posting one video a day is such a small thing, especially when it's like I could just record a 15-second clip of myself doing nothing and post it, and that counts as a video for the day. So I'd love to do that. Um, and second off, more of the main thing is I wanted to talk about life, and I wanted to talk about just kind of how to live, or how I want to live and how I want to do things, and just kind of reflect on this for a minute, as well as just state my intention of what I want to do um, in terms of actual living. If you're anything like me, you could probably spend hours just sitting down and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking and ruminating about a billion different things, and thinking about how bad everything is or how good everything is, or just I feel like I have the ability to think about things so much that like hours could probably go by and I haven't experienced a single moment of it. And the worst part about this is you can overthink while doing literally anything. So I could literally be having a blast with friends or by myself, and I could still be ruminating. I could still be overthinking while I'm doing it, and have these thoughts that are pulling me out of the present, pulling me out of the moment into this like cycle of repeating thoughts and repeating things that are just going on, and there's no end to it. There's never an end to it. It always keeps going. And that's the problem with rumination, with overthinking, is it kind of promises, oh yeah, like pay attention, you're gonna, if you listen, you're gonna get something good out of this, or you need to be thinking, or you need to be overthinking in order for something good to happen, or protection from something bad happening. And that could be another thing that happens, is you could be thinking so much because you're like, oh, what if I am in the present and it hurts, you know? Um, But ultimately, that's not really what's probably going to happen. And even when that does happen, usually it's not as bad as we expect. I think sometimes there's traumas that can cause us to be scared of being in the present moment. But I think also just we can develop habits of not being in the present and not living in the present. And I think more than anything, something that I would be scared of happening is living my entire life, like the next 20 years of my life, and suddenly I'm 42. I'm doing the things that I want to be doing. Let's say, like every dream that I have, every goal that I have, I'm doing, I'm achieving it. I'm on the surface, it looks like everything is going fine. Like everything is fine, everything is good. And wow, lights just said, holy moly, this is insane. So I don't know what just happened. I feel like suddenly I'm just like exposed out in the open. Like just a second ago, I was in the dark, and then suddenly, light, just shining brightly. Um, but I guess what I'm trying to say is I would be terrified of living my life, like actually doing all the things that I want to do and never experiencing it because I'm living in this like repeating cycle in my thoughts. And even though on the surface, I'm doing everything I want to do and achieving things and having great experiences, I'm not actually experiencing it. It's like imagine you're like parachuting, and it's like instead of being like, oh my goodness, I'm in this moment, I'm like alive. You're just like thinking about things and you're repeating like, oh, I need to be doing this because this is the right thing to do, and this is the good thing to do, and this is what I need to avoid doing, this is the blah 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 blah. And it's like meanwhile you're like falling from the sky, and like you're not there in that moment. And I think that the thing is, in those moments, you aren't in that like rumination, because in those moments suddenly you're kicked into like, you're like, this is either an important day, an important event, or this is like fearful, like you're actually fearful of like, I might die, you know? So it kind of brings you into the present. But I think that same thing can happen, let's say on your wedding day. You could be in the present that day. Like let's say you're a chronic overthinker, then suddenly when that day comes, it's like you're able to be in the present because it's like, oh, this is a once in a lifetime day. But it's like almost like, what if we treated every day like it was a once in a lifetime day? Because that's exactly what it is. We're like every single day, every single moment, you're not going to get back. And I don't think that needs to be a scary thing. I just think it needs to be something that we recognize, and instead of being like, I'm going to waste it thinking about like things that I don't need to be thinking about or ruminating. And I think there's a difference that I want to say, because I'm not against thinking. I'm not against thinking at all. But what I am against is rumination. And that means repeating things that you hate thinking about, that you don't like thinking about, that you're unable to stop thinking about, or even good things that like aren't worth thinking about, but then just repeating that in your head, being like, oh, this thing is good, this is a good life trait, or this is a good whatever, like let's say a spiritual thing, like this is a good spiritual thought, but then you take it and you repeat it and you repeat it and you repeat it. And I think that's what I'm talking about in terms of thinking, is that thinking that takes you out of the present, that takes you out of like the emotion, out of the moment, and out of the experience that you're having, and whatever the activity that is. But it's just, I wonder what life would be like if I treated, and you too, treated every day like it's your wedding day. Like this is an important day, you know? And that doesn't mean that other days are going to be less important than other days. Like, yeah, your wedding day is probably going to be more important than the average day. But why don't we treat every day as though it's an important, just fundamental experience of life? Like it matters. Like, hey, April 27th, 2026, I'm not gonna get this day back again, and I actually want to be able to live it, not like waste that time. And I think about this a little bit because I was thinking about there was when I was, let's see, when I was 8, and it was 2012, and there was that date 12 12 12, and I remember because I was born in 2004, so I experienced like that many times before that last day. But I realized, like that exact day when the calendar aligns to 12 12 12, in my lifetime, there's never going to be that moment again where it perfectly matches up. There's going to be like 2/22/22. I also was able to witness 3/33. No, wait, 33 isn't going to happen. Okay, so that's not even going to happen. But there will never be that day, 12/12/12, because that was the only day that will be that day. And like, not until 100 years are they ever going to be like, oh yeah, it's 12/12/12 on the calendars, if they even have calendars then. But it just makes me think, like, every day matters and every day is important, and I don't want to miss that. I don't want to miss a single day. I don't want to miss a single hour in rumination. I don't want to miss a single hour. I don't even want to miss 10 minutes of my life in ruminating. So honestly, I think that not the complete abandonment of thoughts or the complete abandonment of thinking, but the abandonment of like rumination and this like repeating thoughts and repeating cycles that go on in your head. It's like I honestly refuse to take part in that anymore, because it doesn't lead anywhere. It doesn't have any fruit at all, and it robs your life. Like, I feel like, and it's not even just like the time that you spend ruminating, but those like 10 minutes that you spend ruminating while you're around people. Those those 10 minutes, if you actually were there in the moment, that could change your life. Like, I know that sounds dramatic, but I truly believe that is true. Like, those 10 minutes where you're ruminating, those 10 minutes could have been a fundamental decision in your life, or a fundamental just moment of being involved. Like, you could have made a core memory there with people or with yourself that you wouldn't have gotten by just ruminating. And it just like makes me think, like, and I don't think that time really gets wasted. I think we can miss certain moments in our lives, but I think that there will always be doors that are available to walk through. Like, the idea of being like let's say even if I did waste 20 years ruminating in my life, even still, even regardless, I wouldn't have wasted my life, because even still, there's more doors to walk through. There's more moments. It's like, imagine your life is, um, imagine your life at every single moment has just infinite possibilities to walk through. And don't think of that as a scary thing. Think of it as a good thing. But like, it's so important to just be in that moment and to actually be involved in your life, to like actually plunge yourself into your life. Um, and I feel like that's what we all want, and that's what we all try. I think every single person who tries to ruminate, or who tries to like, who stresses themselves out, that's what you're actually worried about. Is you're worried, like, actually what you want is to actually live your life, to be immersed in your life. And that's what I think every single person actually wants, is to actually experience life. And we think like, oh, as soon as I get this test done, I'm gonna live my life. I'm gonna get out there and live. Or once I get this thing done, or once I get this thing done. Or the worst thing, I think, is adopting a mentality where you just think, oh, every single day like is miserable, but like, sometimes there's a good time. Maybe like 10 minutes of that day is good. But I think that's just as bad as like, well, I think that is ruminating, and I think that's where ruminating leads to, honestly. But like, I'm just tired of that, because I feel like looking at my life, I feel like there was times where it's like I probably could have had a completely different year. I could have probably had a completely different month, a completely different day, a completely different week, And there's days that I remember, and I could specifically go back to that day in my memory, and I can remember how beautiful it was, how brilliant it was. And those days were days when I was plunged into that experience, even just plunged into sitting at my table painting and listening to an audiobook. Like, that moment is cemented in my brain. I can feel those emotions. I can go back into my brain and feel those emotions that I felt in that moment. And I think that, like, then I can think about times that I was ruminating, and I was just like sitting in my room just thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking and doing things, trying to do things. But like when I do them, I'm still thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking. And it's just like I can remember it, but it's not as good. It's just like it just makes me feel like there was something else there that I could have plunged myself into. Even the things that I was doing, if I had just plunged myself into that experience, it would have been completely different. Like, looking back, I could have probably been like, that was a beautiful day. And I had an awesome day that day. And even weeks probably could have been different, and months could have been different, and my entire life might have been different. And I'm not saying to regret your life. I don't regret it or anything. It just, I think knowing this allows me to actually have a better resolve, maybe, to be able to avoid this in the future and actually experience my life differently and better, because now I know the opposite. But it's just, I think that ultimately in life, in anything that you want to do, any experience in life, anything at all, I think that ultimately what we need to do, and it's not to not have goals. I have goals. I have a lot of goals. But the thing is, my ultimate goal is to plunge myself into every experience, to plunge myself into every moment, to plunge myself into every emotion that I'm feeling. Because I think that like holding yourself back, hesitation is death. That's like my new like motto is hesitation is death. Like I like literally just thought of that like maybe 10 minutes ago. Or well, this video's been only like 10 minutes, so like 30 minutes ago. But hesitation just, it kills you. And I think that ultimately rumination is that hesitation. And I think my ultimate goal is that to experience every single moment, to experience every single thing that I do, to plunge into the emotions, to plunge into the experience, to plunge into the moment, to experience everything that I'm feeling in that moment. Even if that experience is laying down and watching a movie, that is plunging yourself into that moment is brilliant. That's life changing. And that's more life changing, I would say, than making a freaking $1,000,000, because you're actually experiencing something. And I want to experience things and actually experience my life, because like I said, I think I could I think anybody can achieve every single thing they want to in their life, but miss everything. And I think you could also achieve every single thing that you want to in life and not miss it. And that's what I want to do, is I want to actually experience the things that I'm experiencing, to plunge into every single moment, to have goals, to have things I want to do, but in that moment to like plunge into it, to experience it, to feel every single emotion, to feel every single moment. Because ultimately that's what matters, and that's what's going to leave an impression in your life. That's what's going to be important in your life, is that like actual experience, that actual moment. And that's how I want to live. I refuse to spend 10 more minutes ruminating, because that is just going to destroy you. Even like if I spend 10 minutes ruminating, it's not the end of the world. Like, if I do it and then I get out of it, but the thing is those 10 minutes could you're missing 10 minutes that can be just absolutely phenomenal. Like, okay, this video has been 19 minutes, and 19 minutes of just plunging myself into this, experiencing it, going for it, doing it. Like, that, if I had spent those 20 minutes ruminating, I would have missed this. And even just spending, like, let's say I spend 10 minutes like looking at grass, that's 10 minutes that I'm like plunge myself into it. Or if you're working, just like plunge yourself into that experience, because like it's going to be completely different than if you are in that cage, that prison of your mind. But yeah, so thank you for watching, and I hope this is just kind of a declaration to myself. I don't even know if anybody is going to watch this, but this is a declaration to myself to experience life, to experience every moment, to actually feel it, to actually plunge into every emotion, to plunge into every experience in my life, not to hold back, not to hesitate, but to go into it, to feel it, to do it. Another thing I kind of like is imagining that my life is like, and I don't believe this is true, but imagining that like your life is on repeat and every single moment that you're experiencing it could be like the millionth time you've experienced it, or the 10th time, or the first time. But it kind of gives you this perspective that like, what type of life would you want to live? Would you, if you could experience it, if you had to experience it over and over and over, it's like you would actually want to really fully live your life and to experience it, and to make every moment a moment that you would want to return to, whether that has hard moments or not. It's like even those hard moments, like when it's worthwhile, you'd want to go back to it. Um, and yeah, so I hope that this has helped somebody. It's helped me a lot just expressing this, but I want to have that intention to really live, to really experience, to really plunge myself into it, and to just stop ruminating, to not refuse to spend another second ruminating. So I hope this has been good. It's been good for me. Thank you for watching, Mr. Whale, and also daily uploads, so better stay tuned. All right, thank you.